It's the 16th of June 2025 and hello from Bijelo, Polje in Montenegro. Today I'm traveling along one of the most scenic railway lines in Europe. You might be wondering, shouldn't you be in Switzerland then? Well, yes and no. The Belgrade Bar Railway offers an experience you won't find in Switzerland for sure. And I'm going to take you along the train ride from Bijelo, Polje to the Adriatic Sea in Bar. Thank you so much for joining in and let's begin the video. After a good night's sleep and breakfast, I'm ready to do the Belgrade to Bar Railway. This has been on my wish list for the longest time. You might be familiar with the daily night train, the Lovcen, connecting the city of Belgrade in Serbia with the coastal town of Bar in Montenegro. Originally I wanted to take this train, but securing a ticket for it was somewhat challenging. Back in March I did an attempt and in June again, but without success. The thing is, a ticket for this train can only be bought in person at the train station or via email. I was ghosted on my email. The train sold out when I reached the ticket office in person. Oh well, backup plan is to travel to Montenegro by plane. Welcome to the suspiciously modern looking railway station of Bijelo, Polje. Trust me, you won't find any nicer looking station in this country. Well, maybe Nixik. But yeah, you won't really go there as a tourist. The ticket office is hard to miss, and the young lady there spoke excellent English. For just €7.20, you can cross the entire country by train. Not that Montenegro is big, but it's still impressive. Onto the facilities of this station. There's a vending machine where a bottle of water costs just 60€. There's also a cafe with outdoor seating if you're feeling hungry. Toilets are also available here, and it's the most beautiful and clean public toilet of this country for sure. So yeah, brace yourself what you're going to see later in this video. Walking up to the first floor is platform 1, where a train to Bar will depart from. This nicely renovated station now serves as a joint border crossing point with neighboring Serbia, and it's a terminal station for domestic trains in Montenegro. You'll find some interesting photos on display here of this railway line. On the right we can see a flirt Serbian passenger train, eventually heading back to its country. On the left are two Serbian locomotives, actually flirting, most likely waiting to pick up a cargo train. Just outside the station canopy is I suppose a water tap point or a salmonella infinity pool. I'll leave it up to you to decide what this is, because I played safe and have bought a bottle of Coke for €1.20 at a vending machine. The train was supposed to arrive here at 8:39 from Bar, but since time is a very relative term at the Montenegrin railway company, it decided to roll in with a delay of 20 minutes, which isn't bad to be honest. It's more like their best case scenario, as I once waited 3 hours at Kolasin station for my train to Podgorica. The train consists of two couchette sleeping cars, one first class and the other one second class. This actually means nothing, as you can sit wherever you like with a second class ticket. In theory they offer first class travel, but in practice they don't and will only sell you second class tickets. Also, the train consists of whatever car they feel like grabbing from the yard. I bought it through the first class couchette car with red seats, but I decided to take a seat in the rear second class couchette car, because I could feel this car was in the worst condition of the two, and we are here for the experience and not the comfort. By the way, if you don't know what a couchette car is, you should quit watching this video right now, as you don't qualify for the League of Train Nerds. Alright, it's a train car used for overnight travel where you can lay down on a thinly padded bunk bed with guaranteed hernia. Why don't they use normal cars, you might think? Because they couldn't care less. They exist just to bring you from point A to B with whatever is on hand. The turnaround process went pretty smooth, and with a delay of just 10 minutes we depart for Bar. Now let's have a closer look at our seat for today. These are former German couchette cars. The top and middle bunk bed are folded away. You can turn the beds down, but you are not supposed to do it. There are two bins underneath the table. Your only way for ventilation is the window, and the luggage racks are too small to be useful for anything. Here you can see one of the holders to secure your bed. The control panel for the lights is above the door, and the door cannot be locked. The train is filled with relics from the past, and it feels really like you're riding on a museum on wheels, without funds, where everything is slowly decaying. I'm not kidding, ventilation doesn't work, just like the lock of the door, as well as the intercom system. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if the emergency handle is also broken. I suspect they just never used these features when they were bought second hand, and were fine with letting it rot. Here is a shot of the toilet. or what's left of it. Well, at least the lock of this door still works. By now you know that this train trip is all about the amazing views it offers. First major site coming up is the Slijebac Bridge. The Belgrade to Bar railway was built in the 1950s till 70s by the Yugoslav state railways under the supervision of dictator Tito. It provides the city of Belgrade access to the Mediterranean Sea. Construction started in 1952 and was fully completed in 1977 with the electrification of the line. At the time it was an engineering marvel, but the railway fell into despair after the Yugoslavian war. Only in recent years were the efforts made to revitalize the railway line. In the Balkan, it is common for trains to stop at every station to be called Putnika voz, translated to passenger train, instead of local or regional service like elsewhere in Europe. All stops along the way will go in a similar fashion. Here we arrive at Mijatovo Kolo. The train stops, the conductor closes the door, the station master gives the OK to depart, the driver sounds his horn, and off we go. At unmanned stations, the conductor will also give the OK to depart. This was long ago the standard procedure all over Europe, but has vanished with modern technology. Here, it's still the standard. If you want to enter or exit the train in between stations, you are expected to open the door yourself and also close it if you are the last one leaving or boarding the train. Otherwise the conductor have to walk to that one door that isn't closed to close it before the train can depart. While we make our way to Kolasin station, I want to address something you should know before taking this train. It's about the smoking policy, or more, the lack of it in this country. It's common to find smokers on board, and the most considerate ones will smoke at the door area. Then you have the group that is somewhat considerable to others and will smoke in the gangway near the windows. Then you have the final group, which will just smoke at their seat. Seriously, there are so many smokers in this country, and if you do not smoke and can't take the smell, you'll be having a hard time. People go to church to worship God, but in this country I suspect them to worship the Marlboro deity. We have just left Kolasin station, the place I was once stranded for 3 hours. Now let's have a look at the other car. This declassified first-class couchette car is in a much better condition. These are also used on the Lovcen Nighttrain to Belgrade. We make our way to the highest point of the railway line at 1032 meters above sea level, and then soon follows the best part of this railway line. Here the toilet is in a much better condition, with even running water and toilet paper. And if that isn't fancy enough for you, the lid of the toilet will automatically close when you open the door. Neat! If you are very lucky, you can come across these former German intercity cars. They are used on the seasonal daytime train to Belgrade up until the border. Of all the passenger cars, these are in the best condition and also have the best seats. As there is air conditioning, the windows can be opened. Not per se a negative thing, but we train fans love our Fensterauf. Any normal person, however, would highly appreciate these cars, instead of what we have for today's ride. We are now at Kruševački potok, a train stop high up the canyon near a stream on a hillside between two tunnels. From here on out, you will have the most breathtaking spots of the entire railway line, all the way till Podgorica. I will stay silent from here to let you enjoy the scenery. The train lacks centrally controlled doors, which means the train doors aren't locked when the train is in motion. This suggests you can open these doors mid-ride and nobody cares, right? Well, actually, they do care. You are not supposed to open them during the ride, and the conductor will enforce this rule while lighting up his or her cigarette in an already smoke-filled gangway. It's hard to believe that this was once the state-of-the-art railway line. Previously, we crossed the Mala Rijeka viaduct, once the highest railway viaduct in the world. We then pass by Bijelo station and make our way down along the Moracha river to reach Podgorica. Although the line flattens after that, the scenery still won't disappoint you. With a delay of 30 minutes, we arrive at Podgorica, the capital of Montenegro. Here you can transfer to the only other operational line to Nikšić. There was once also a line running towards the Albanian border, but that one has been abandoned for a long time. Despite the bad condition of the rolling stock, the train is a popular means of transport in Montenegro. It's cheaper than by bus, more roomier seats, and you can smoke to your heart's content. Between here and Bar, the train operates more frequently, with a service every 1 or 2 hours in each direction. After Podgorica, we cross the plains down towards the Mediterranean Sea. The next stop is Aerodrome, which translates to the airport. Nice, you would think, but it's actually a 15-minute walk to the actual airport. The following day I used the train to the airport to catch my flight. When exiting, don't forget to close the door behind you if no one else is there. Wait for the train to depart in order to cross the tracks. From here on out, it's a straight line to the airport. However, I won't recommend this if you have a lot or heavy luggage. The railway line runs alongside Lake Skadar for a short time, where we will pass by the beautiful ruins of Fort Lesendro. This train trip really offers great views, not only mountaintops, canyons, but also lakes and soon the seaside. Towns like Sutomore and Bar are popular with the locals and foreign tourists alike, both easy to reach by train from Podgorica. It's not overrun by the mast yet, and I simply love this country, except for their smoking habit. While we are closing into Bar station, with a delay of 45 minutes, let's recap this journey. This train trip isn't exactly for your average tourist. The country itself is a superb tourist-friendly destination, but doing the Belgrade-Bar railway is more for those who want to do off-the-beaten-path things, or you are a train nerd. It is not adventurous at all, but you gotta have some special interest to enjoy things like this. There's a lot of decay, the train cars are worn out, and punctuality is non-existent. Yet this is the very reason I love taking this train. It's fun to witness how they still manage to run a functioning train service, despite all the shortcomings. You have to admit, that's actually pretty impressive. The trip is therefore a great example why train travel is very niche in the Balkans, but I wish the train will get more popular again. Like in the days of Tito, there is a lot of improvement needed if it wants to have a high standard, but for now, riding the Montenegrin railway is fine and very fun thing to do as a railway fan. For the price of just €7.20 and cheap Wizz Air flights to reach the country, this would 100% be a very budget-friendly alternative in comparison with doing scenic train rides in Switzerland. And that was the Belgrade to Bar railway from Bijelo Polje to Bar. Thank you so much for joining and coming along. Take care, and we'll see each other in the next video.